Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my top 25 non-galactic legend character rankings for June 2026. This is a snapshot of the last ranking I did in February 2026. I used to do these quarterly, and now it's drifts 4 or 5 months sometimes. I have kind of a hierarchy in my mind of game mode values, like Grand Arena is probably the highest, Territorial Wars pretty low on that list, Conquest quite high, TB kind of in the middle. And then just general competence. I do value versatility as a character. If there's a character that can function well in a variety of lineups and make a big difference, that makes a big deal. Captain Rex was a good example of that, although he held on as long as he could and was out last time I did the ranking. And I also tend to value the leader or the star of the show, which could be like Jar Jar is not a leader, but he's tying together that Gungan faction. Whereas there's like great supporting units in that team, only he is there, like Queen Amidala. I don't have Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon, even though they are great. I do have certain preferences that may get frequently disagreed with, but I do try to update my opinions based on feedback, because, my experience is limited, and, I do hold on to some old biases for a while, but what helps reshape that is my GoTanks account, a smaller account, and it's not just the top of the line, the top of the food chain for everything. And you get to see what can help you punch up and what's good with a shoestring budget of a team and what's just not. So we're going to jump into it, starting with the bottom 5 and who is out this time around. So who is out the door? We have some of my favorite characters and then some newer ones that didn't hold up. Darth Revan, Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, Jedi Knight Luke, and Jedi Master Mace Windu. Now, these are all still really strong characters. If you want to extend the logic here, they're probably top 30. Darth Revan, he's kind of been second fiddle for a while. I've kept him in a long time because I do have a personal preference towards him. I do think he's got a lot going for him, but he just couldn't stack up. Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, I just don't use him enough on my main account. He just falls through the cracks too many times for me to consider him super valuable for the top 25. Jedi Knight Luke is still great. All these characters are still great, but they're not like running the show on them set by themselves and making waves. Jedi Master Mace, he was on the list only for a short time. He can rise and fall based on datacrons, but ultimately he's not a galactic legend killer. He's not a showstopper on defense. He just doesn't have enough to stay in. Our last 5 in the ranking are Traya, Jar Jar, Malik, Cal, and Maul. Now, I will tell you ahead of time, in this top 25 list, there are 4 new characters that were not even considered last time, whether new to the game or just too new for me to consider, or not in yet because of error stuff. So if a character is a -4 on this list, they basically tread water. If they're less than -4, they basically rose. So Traya, I had a -2 on her, and when I was looking at my last row and deciding who to keep, I figured Traya still should stick around. Now, you could make an argument for any of these 4 over her, but I do think she has the most staying power. Primarily Grand Arena, she's not useless otherwise, but she really is just a Grand Arena creature. Jar Jar fell a bit more than the others, just because, Gungans are great. They're not a super crazy weapon on their own. There's plenty of stuff that can get around them, but they are something you have to deal with. They're very frustrating. The kit is designed very well for that because it was a frustrating character on screen for a lot of people. Not me personally, but he is a frustrating character in the game with the frustration mechanic, death mark. He's all over the place. There's 1 in 10,000 chance things that can happen and have happened to me and suck, but it's just a team you got to get around. You can't underestimate him, so I still think he deserves top 25. Malik is down 3, so you could say he's kind of up 1 compared to his time last time. Just a great plug and play character as a Sith. Really durable. He was like the best character in the game in 2000 when he came out in 2019, I think. But it's been close to 7. It's been 7 years actually since I think he was in April 2019. So it's been 7 years since it came out, and he's still hanging on, just barely. His friend and enemy Darth Revan is out. But that constant fear mechanic, the life drain, You can put him with Bait, you can put him with Sith Eternal. He's just a classic tank. He's amazing. And he's someone you could just put on any team and really have something to add there. He works in isolation on an island. It's still going to go well. Jedi Knight Cal, he would be a little bit higher if not for the fact that he is pretty offense only, and he's also pretty dependent on others. He's basically a lifter for Jedi Master Luke. Just has never been called that. He's not a conquest unit. His insta-kill is nice. I do think he has like a Swiss Army knife of abilities and effects that he passes out with his different stances, which are really cool. But you put him on defense, and he is just kind of stupid. He does the same stance over and over, unless they've changed it recently. I haven't seen that. But he's still top 25 because he really does change the dynamic of any battle he's in, and he's kind of a get out of jail free card with that insta kill in a lot of ways. Maul, he's -4, so that's that sweet spot of like basically the same rating he was before. I didn't bump him down or bump him out because while he doesn't have a home with Lord Vader anymore because the clones well came in, which by the way, no clones on this team. Like they definitely elevated Lord Vader, and that new team is better than a Lord Vader with Maul. But I'm still ranking Maul above any of those individual clones because it's kind of just like a team dynamic and gel with a Galactic Legend. But Maul, he has so much value and so much flexibility. Versatility is something I really appreciate. He can lead his own dark side Mandos, which still has some use. In Kyber 1, it's really kind of fallen off. But where I see a ton of use for him, especially as someone without Spider Maul, you can put him on a Stranger team. He's fantastic. You can put him on a Malicos team. You could put him with Starkiller. He just has a lot of use to him with those multiple attacks in a row, like anti-stun, anti-all this. Just really big damage dealer, really makes some matchups. So he definitely earns his spot in the top 25. As for our top 20, we have this. I think some people should be happy with this. If you're not happy with it by now, I don't know what to tell you. Malgus, Cat, Cassian, new edition, Luthen, and Gas. So Malgus takes a big jump down, and when I was I try to, this is how I try to rank people. I just look at the field. I was like, okay, I'm taking these 4 out. I know I'm bringing these 4 in. I try to rank it from there. When I compare it to how I had him last month, I was surprised he was down 8. But there's 4 new teams, 4 new characters that came in over him, Cassian being one of them. And then of those others that I evaluated, there's a few in this top 15, plus Luthen that all kind of held their spots above him. So he ended up following a lot. Cat and Gas are the 2 biggest headaches I get anytime I do these rankings. There's always some genius that thinks he knows the game so much, and I'm an idiot. I should never get Gas. He's the rank 300th character in the game. He's still really good. Like if you had a one-on-one tournament, and now this is like kind of irrelevant to the game practically, but this is kind of how I think about some of this in the top 25. If you had a one-on-one tournament for the game, Gas would beat a lot of units. He'd probably beat most units on this list. Most of them that are ahead of him as well. He just has a ton of versatility, and what he does, no crits out of turn, double attacks, increased cooldowns, reduce health, so much stuff. Great stats. He's the star of the show on the 501st team. You do have some. He's someone you have to contend with. But why I keep knocking him down, and I had him in top 5 for a while. He's down to 16 now. There's just plenty of times I don't use 501st. I'll put them on defense. I'll throw them down. A lot of times on my Kyber 1 account. But it is just, the game is kind of passing him by with all the crazy mechanics out there, crazy strong stuff. Same with Cat. What really has led to her downfall in my eyes, and this ranking is my opinion, I'll have to state, is having her on my Gotenks account without JMK. So I don't have JMK. I'm nowhere close to JMK. And I had always heard, just secondhand that like Padme with Cat is amazing. Now, I think that may have been the case a few years back. I think the game has just shifted so much now that it's not really that crazy. She's still really good, and she is a lifter unit, and I do rank lifter unit. Lifter units do have a spot on this list. There's not tons of them. Some of them can operate, like Bane is technically a lifter unit, but he can operate on his own, so he kind of gets superstar solo status. Kat still gets to be in the top 25 as a lifter. She does have a lot to offer with the insta kill, the stat boost, and JMK. Yeah, it used to be said that JMK is the lifter to Kat, as opposed to the other way around. But they really do have a symbiotic relationship. You put them together, they are quite good. And apart, they each struggle kind of greatly. I think Cat you could put with like a Ray or like a Dash. She has a lot of flexibility as long as it's like Ufu, Galactic Republic, or Scoundrel. Um, but there's just a lot of anti like instant defeat mechanics out there that work against her and all this kind of stuff. Every new kid is like anti Cat. So anyway, Cassian is new, and Cassian and Luthen I put together because I'm not quite convinced that Luthen still is not the superstar of the group. So these are the only two from that kind of like Rogue One Andor era dynamic. And the big question is, where do you put Luthen? You put Luthen with Cassian, you're going to get the strongest team. But then if people split up Luthen and Cassian, they usually give the focused Datacron to the team with a Luthen under like Saul or something. Now, I have limited experience. I've faced them both. They're both quite tricky, but they're both kind of propped up by whoever's got that focused Datacron right now. And I have limited application of either of them, honestly, on offense. But Cassian, I haven't used too much on offense. I have a lower relic one. But I do think he deserves a spot. He is quite tricky. 18, I think, is no slouch. But him and Luthen are just together there. And for now, I'm keeping Luthen above Cassian. Interested to hear your thoughts there, because really, I'm not too sure. Next, we got our top 15. We got a newcomer here, and then a couple of... a lot of these are more or less recent characters. Starkiller is the oldest one here. We have Stranger coming up one. So that's basically coming up like 3 or 4, because there's 3 newer characters above him. I kept Starkiller the same. So Starkiller kind of kept his position. He didn't move up or down, and then Gas fell from near him. Luthen fell. Cat fell. Magus fell. They all kind of fell. But I have Starkiller still above Stranger, because while Stranger definitely... when you think of like the powerhouse team, you're naming the leader is Stranger there. But if I could either have Stranger without Starkiller or Starkiller without Stranger, I would still take Starkiller without Stranger. Now, they both have to go together for their maximum potential. That's true. But it's really just kind of how I state it. Like, I'll take Starkiller first over Stranger any day. Stranger without Starkiller, I mean, you give him Spider Legs Maul, you're going to be talking. But Starkiller really has like the damage output, and Stranger is kind of like the facilitator. He's the maestro. He's leading the group. But Starkiller is the damage and the big threat, the lingering Star Destroyer that's gonna come kick your butt. But both fantastic characters. So top 15 is quite strong. Satele is coming in as a new character, and I love Satele. So sorry about her pixels. Like, she's a very low resolution. I got all these pictures from SWGOH. For some reason, her and I think Spider Lake Small have really bad pictures. I don't know why. They're just like very small and grainy. I think Satele is great. She kind of has a problem similar to Cal in that she is not great on defense. However, what that means is Sith Eternal solos her. So if you don't have Sith Eternal, she's going to be a strong threat on defense. There's not going to be a ton of stuff that just walks over Satele Shan. But, you know, that's just kind of the reputation. So I still had her high. I think you could make an argument for higher, and I'd love to give her higher because I do love her as a character. Her mechanics, how she works. I mean, just massive protection AoE. First of all, I love modding characters for protection because it's like probably the easiest big stat to go for. Because the primary is at 5 dot, 23.5%, 6 dots, 24. So you get most of your benefit at just 5 dots, and it's really easy to get there because it's a very common primary. And she's just so good at protecting her team. The number one counter to who's right below her, Stranger and Starkiller. So it felt natural to put her in there at least. But that said, she is the middle of the pack on the top 25. Darkside Ray. She's up 1, which is effectively +3 because there's 2 new characters above her, and she still rose. My thought process on it, why she is this high, it is higher. There's a higher burden for a Galactic Legend lifter in my mind because they are, by definition, second fiddle to the Galactic Legend. The Galactic Legend is doing most of the lifting. Starkiller before Darksided Ray still was quite powerful. However, he was not beating absolutely everything. I think Supreme Leader Kylo is the answer to absolutely everything out there, and you can do it with good banners now. And that's thanks to Darksided Ray. So she's 12. The team, it's like the best offensive team in the game. So if you like just trying to use that logic, you might want her to be like top 5, but you gotta put it in perspective of Supreme Leader Kylo doing the heavy lifting, and she has a kit built around him. Like, you can't put her with just crew or something and have it be like a world-beating team. It's a decent defensive team in lower leagues, but you know what I mean. Maz, still really strong. Still a team you have to like be careful around. Great anti-Sith synergy. And just overall really viable on defense, not just good against Sith or Jedi. She's just it's mainly anti-Sith synergy. Hondo has the anti-Jedi stuff, but she's just really solid. I don't know. She might be falling farther. I just really value the threat she does have against all those big Sith. But if there's anyone that I could see like getting knocked down a few pegs, it's probably her. But I'm leaving her there for now. I didn't have a huge amount of disagreement on Maz. No one was really clamoring that she was being overrated like they did for like Gas and Cat. So she's kind of staying where she is. And now for the top 10, I had a stubborn number 10 that fell outside of the animation pattern. Then I just left it, covered it up with my portrait until now. But anyway, we have 2 new characters, and I think there might be some surprise here at number 10. And we have a few familiar faces staying, Bo staying right where she was, Malchus falling barely. Reva, I knocked down by 4. We brought in Spider-Legs Maul at 9, and new Vader Duel's End at rank 10. So Spider Maul is kind of hard for me, because he is part of a superstar trio with Starkiller and Stranger. However, why I do put him the highest is because he is the most standalone out of all of them. He is so hard to kill. He is insanely hard to kill, even at low relics, which is like unheard of. I made the complete wrong call on both accounts, my main account and the GoTakes account, to not go for a 4-star Maul, because in the wake of Relic Delta, I was like, who cares about a 4-star unit that you can only have Relic 2? And then at that point, I hadn't even contemplated going 5-star because of how many crystals it cost. So I was like, I'm just going to skip it and save up. That was a bad call, because even at Relic 2, it is near impossible to kill this guy. The whole team has to be gone first, and then he needs to be completely just isolated from his crazy team. He has Fracture, he has Bleed, he has Mark. He's just so much stuff going on with this guy. Really elevates the Starkiller and Stranger team. But unlike those two, especially unlike Stranger, he doesn't have a ton of complex conditions for where he can go, so you can put him in a lot of spots. So I do value that flexibility. And I don't know, maybe this is too high, but he feels like the biggest threat on that team from a defensive standpoint. That being said, you still can have this same counter to a Stranger team with Maul or without Maul, and that's Teal Sean. So I don't know, it's a lot to juggle. I don't have him for myself for offense, but people have been using him on offense a lot lately to great effect. So I think he does at least merit a top 10 appearance. Now, new Vader Duel's End. There was the classic problem with him where it's like you're not sure how they're gonna do after they lose their focus datacron, or the datacron that's initially propping him up. I'd argue he has been almost the same level of threat since then. Now, it might be painted by recent experiences for me, but on my main accounts, I faced a whale who had like so many R10s, but he has R10 new Vader, and there is our Sith Korans right now, but he just walked all over my Jedi Master Kenobi, who's supposed to be, the easy counter, the go-to counter. He's a Galactic Legend. for crying out loud, that prevents turn meter gain. And turn meter is a big part of that Palpatine team because he's on the Palpatine team. He just destroyed everything. It failed, and I had to try to scrounge together something to take him out, and he just couldn't do it. And I used Jedi Master Kenobi on him all season, and it was always still a struggle. And then when I look at the data, there's just no answers to him. And this is after his focus datachron expired. He's got double fracture, which, I think in 3v3 is relatively better than in 5v5. But there are very few other characters that aren't Galactic Legends or Lifters or something that cause that much fear. I could be short selling him at just 10. I don't know. But he's crazy. He definitely lives up to the name of Elite Marquis or whatever they call it. Crazy guy. Now Malicos and Riva and Bo. So Malicos, I only knocked him down 1. He is primarily just Grand Arena. I mean, outside Grand Arena, he's not doing too much. But in Grand Arena, I think he is so good. He is like single-handedly the option for a variety of GLs. Just with like Seer and like Cal on his team, but you can bring in a or a Maul or a Spider-Legs Maul. I think some people do, and he just wrecks face. He's one of the only counters to Hondo. He can take down Rey in most circumstances, all kinds of stuff, perma kills, massive damage. He's just a personal favorite of mine, so maybe he's one of my new biases, or like not new, but he's like one of the, maybe people start complaining about Malicos. I don't know. He is relatively offense oriented and Grand Arena oriented, but he's the star. He's really the one leading the charge. Riva, I knocked her down some just because when I try to think of threats and like weapons, she just doesn't stack up as much as she used to in my mind. Now there are ways where she can beat like a handful of GLs, like probably like 5 in a lot of ways, and she's got a lot of tags, and that's great. But there's just too much other stuff coming that's built up that like she's not going to be beating. But I gave her a high rating just because she is like as the star of the show and a versatile team. She still stays up there pretty high at number 7, but I don't know. Bo, hanging in there at 6. She's super valuable, not just for Grand Arena, but for TB. She's a really easy farm, which I'm not like ranking necessarily farms, but she's just really good. She's one of the few options for Lord Vader. That's not a Galactic Legend. She can beat JMK, all kinds of stuff, and she can beat like other stuff. Like I think JML like wouldn't hold up against her. Just really strong on her own. She really ties the team together really well as that star factor. Keeping her at 6, I don't know. It's just like it would be a very small bump to just get her to fall. Like it's kind of a tenuous thing here in the top 10. But I don't know. Let me know what you think. And now for the absolute cream of the crop, we have our top 5. Coming in at 5, we have Baylan, followed by Queen Amidala, Ezra, Great Mothers, and Bane. So Bane owning the top spot for over a year, I'm pretty sure. Grey Mother's coming in and swooping the title of number 2 from Ezra. Queen Amidala launching from 8 to 4, and Baylan staying where he was. So first of all, Bane, goes without saying, he's an offense only unit, but he can kill just so many things. His value is reduced compared to how it has been in the past. There's plenty of things where you look at it and Bane is not like the only answer to it. However, if we're looking at units pound for pound, he's still above everyone else. It's just like he is getting compared to complete other teams. You just give him any throwaway Sith with decent relics, and he's going to get a lot done. He's kind of hoping they just die, get out of his way, let me 1-on-5 or 1-on-3 or whatever it is, and get it done. I do think he correspondingly gets a bigger boost because he actually is getting some chops for his role as a lifter. At least in my eyes. Whereas before, like, a year ago, it was kind of unthinkable to use him as a lifter to Sith Eternal. It's like, why would you use him as a lifter? You can use him as himself. But you put him with Sith Eternal, and then they combine. It's like fusing in Dragon Ball Z. It's like Goku and Vegeta, which is the basis of my name, by the way. Son Goku plus Vegeta. Like, they fuse and just transcend time and space and can take down, like, almost anything. Which is just, and with how tight the board, small the board is now compared to how many characters we have, it doesn't seem like a bad trade-off. So he keeps his top spot. Ezra and Great Mothers. So Ezra got nerfed. He got nerfed pretty bad to where he can only stay with his old lady Ahsoka. He is handcuffed to her for most intents and purposes. He can't get his Purgle migration without Ahsoka. Everything is just tied to all specters. And he's kind of like Kat in that regard of like they both need each other, but like Ezra, we saw how much he could do for so long anywhere else. Like just the stuff he does is crazy. It's undeniable, and the only difference now is he's being limited where that can go. I still think he is the best, well, I guess second best lifter in the game because Bane is ahead. But he's still like a huge defensive threat. Like it's still a crazy strong team. All it takes is like a good neutral stat datacron to make the biggest threat on defense ever. In fact, it took the aforementioned Sith Eternal plus Bane that I waxed on about for a minute or two to beat Ezra and Ahsoka with that cron that has like tons of crit avoid, defense, and health. So he is still a huge threat. I think 3 is still fair for him. Maybe he falls a little bit lower in the eyes of some because of that limitation. But whereas before he was so versatile, he could go anywhere, that got him number 2. He has 3 now. Great Mothers, I put at second, up 2 spots because Reva was there before, and or was it 3 before and fell a good bit. Great Mothers, if you set it up right, can take almost anything. I mean, there's a few teams that they're not beating. They could be jam. I mean, TW, they're just a nightmare. Like her Omicrons are just crazy. But pound for pound, just one of the biggest threats out there, either on defense or on offense. I mean, offense is probably better, but defense is still a huge threat and takes like very careful execution to actually beat. You could take a team that's known as a good counter to Great Mothers and still fail epically if you don't know what you're doing, because just 1 minute, you're doomed, you're dead, you can't come back, and then I'm going to take bonus turns to do the next one. And not only just Grand Arena, most of the stuff I'm talking about is like PvP, Grand Arena, TW. In Conquest, she is just the most valuable unit ever. Ever. I can't think of anyone else that has ever been as good in Conquest as her. Like, for a variety of feats. Just, number 1, getting through things easily. Any kind of data disk, give her booming voice, forget about it. I mean, just the combination, just all these bonus turns, especially when you have souped up speed on everybody, it's crazy. So it's just ridiculous. Queen Amidala. So she's 4. She's not number 1, 2, or 3. That's true, but still really high up. And it's just kind of like, it's kind of a realization I've had. This is the me thing. It's a realization I've had in the past few months of how much she can do. She can be at anything, like so many things. And it's an evergreen team. It doesn't need a particular date. It's not like Datacron dependent of like, oh, she had a new thing propping her up for a while. No, I used to think of her as like a defensive team. And then I was like, well, Bane beats her, so I kind of thought like her value was lower. She can beat Jabba. She can beat Rey. She can beat like all kinds of stuff. Ahsoka without Ezra. And she is the one leading that pack. She's a double character. Just so good. I mean, it's unreal, the things they can do. And if you mod your Obi-Wan Qui-Gon well, it's just nuts. So she's one of the I guess she's the 3rd best Conquest unit. Conquest units are just so busted. Just amazing. And then Baylan, he treads water. He stays in the same spot. I think he's an amazing leader with what he can do. He's got to focus Datacron right now, which kind of paints him well. But he just generally is an evergreen team. He's got some flexibility at 4th and 5th, but really strong. Conquest was great too. Really good in TB. Just all over the place, all around good. And I know this has gone a lot longer, I think, than normal for these rankings, so I'm going to stop there. But let me know what you think. To the gas haters out there, are you finally satisfied, or will you never be satisfied until I string him to a tree and tar and feather him and let the buzzards eat him? I don't know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think. Thanks, guys. Bye.